Is Andrew Tate aware of the accusations against him? And there we have it. Some right-wing girl-on-girl action. This looks more like a man who's in debt to the Vietnamese mafia on a game of cockfighting he's lost. How come these foxes are coming here, not integrating into society, being put up in zoos on the taxpayers' dime while I'm at work? Welcome to the Still Show, people. Week 3 here in our lovely Spotify studio. You never know who you're going to bump into here. I just bumped into fellow comedians, the lovely Rob Beckett and the great Josh Widdicombe. I consider every one of my Spotify colleagues a member of family now. Red Richardson does a podcast here. Louis Theroux does a show here. The Rest is Politics, they're in here. Rory Stewart, Alistair Campbell, that's who does podcasts here. You're either talking about parenting woes or war crimes you've committed. This is, every week I'm stunned we're allowed in here. But speaking of war, this is a wartime show. We are currently, I don't know, by the time this goes out, we might be at war. Starmer seems to be a little bit on the fence about it, which the Americans aren't happy about, but they don't realise that Starmer's policy on everything is to be on the fence about it. That's his entire thing. It's just, I don't know. The man in charge of America who ran on the platform that there will be no more wars, well, the war he started isn't going to plan. The Iranians have blocked the Strait of Hormuz, causing shipping lane crisis. Nobody can transport anything. The costs are going up. This is affecting the world. People are not happy about this. And look, as someone who loves cheap goods made by children in China, I get it. I'm upset too. However, as someone whose ex also works in shipping, this is giving her an extra workload. I find that quite thrilling. So we are going to commit treason on this show and stand with the Iranians on this one. I can empathise with the Iranian regime, actually. I, too, am a Nepo baby. I'm doing satire. My dad's a famous satirist comedian. The Ayatollah's killed. His son's now going in charge. I can relate to that. As the son of a comedian, I, too, know what it's like to bomb. By the way, the other thing that is getting on my nerves here is all of my friends are now acting like maritime naval officers in the group chat. Like, I've got friends in WhatsApp groups talking like they're Navy SEALs. Just George, I haven't spoke to you in a little while, but it seems you've gone through Hell Week and become a Navy SEAL. Usually I knew you as a guy who couldn't successfully place an accumulator on the weekend. But now you seem to know all about the Strait of Hormuz. Thank God I'm in a group with a member of MI6. And all this war, it's causing Trump's cabinet to absolutely lose it. Because Trump is based on one thing and one thing only, and it's image. And his image was that of the strong presidential type. He never looked flustered. No matter what crazy decision he was making, he would come out, freestyle a speech. I would thought it all looked insane, and I think he's embodying, and he's empowering white supremacy. But some people like that. Some people really want to be white supremacists. I think even they now would say this is not a man in charge anymore. This looks more like a man who's in debt to the Vietnamese mafia on a game of cockfighting he's lost.
Nobody thought they were going to hit. They were, I wouldn't say friendly countries, they were like neutral. They lived with them for years. All of a sudden, Kuwait is getting hit. Bahrain is getting, all these countries are getting hit.
He's basically saying there, when we hit them, we didn't know they would actually hit back. What chapter from The Art of War is that from? It's a 12-page book. None of those pages go, be like lightning. Admit you're surprised that you miscalculated the strength of your enemy and come out and say that very publicly. So Trump's now floundering around. He's asked NATO to help, not because, in his words, he needs it. He just wanted to see what their reaction would be, which is the geopolitical version of asking your girlfriend if she'd be down for a threesome and then going, no, babe, I was only joking. See, a few months ago, Trump's whole thing was fuck Europe, fuck NATO, it can look after itself. And now, because NATO won't help him bomb a country nowhere near the North Atlantic, Trump is now furious at NATO for not helping him out, even if it was only going to be hypothetical. Even his team is starting to lose it.
Because your people are trying to leak and spin that it wasn't successful. It's irresponsible. And folks in this room are privy to that information because of the proximity here in the Pentagon. It's an important responsibility. And time again, classified information is leaked or peddled for political purposes to try to make the president look bad.
I swear to God, we are 2 weeks away from Pam Bondi coming out and going, what is it with you all? You guys say one thing and the next day it's another. 1 week he's with the traffic children. The next week he's blowing them up. Why don't you pick a lane? If he likes kids so much, why would he bomb them? Is anyone on the right wing okay at the minute? Is anyone at the top of it okay? I'm sure there's some right-wing people who watch this. Can you admit that this is fucking mental? Even the leader of the grifters, Andrew Tate, whose whole thing is escape the matrix, how do I do that? Consumership, that's how you get out of capitalism, has made one of the saddest videos I think I've ever seen.
As the world fell, it was hard to know who was more crazy. Us or everyone else. Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
What the actual fuck is he talking about? The clip he just put out would lead you to believe he's taking up arms against the Iranian regime, which we at the Still Show are now proudly sponsored by. Ayatollah 20 for 20% off a cruise missile. Look, this video looks like Tate and a group of mercenaries are going to die for Dubai, bleed out in a trench, being attacked by Iranian drones for the glory of the UAE. So let's check in with Tate. What was his next post? I assume it's going to be him stockpiling weapons, shirt off, Rambo style, attack helicopters.
We are more than happy to receive you, and please accept our best wishes for your continued success and well-being. And we wish you a safe and comfortable stay. From the government of Dubai. I have a book here, Lessons from Life, Part 1.
No, he has a fruit basket. Nothing says Unleash the Dogs of War like a gift basket. And what's so sad about that video is there is a man out there who's clapped and cheered watching it. He's put it in his group chat going, man, the Tates are back. They're so cool. And he has the same voting rights as all of us. Me and you, we can go and vote, and our vote's going to be cancelled out by a guy who was impressed by an AI video of Andrew Tate in Mad Max Fury Road. By the way, why is he using Mad Max Fury Road? Mad Max Fury Road is an incredible film about breaking women out of a patriarchal structure. Is Andrew Tate aware of the accusations against him? Does nothing speak more to the manosphere than a group of men watching a film that is about female empowerment, and the only thing they've taken away from it is war's good. We should go to war. How are you going to fight that war? I'm going to get a gift hamper from Lush. That's how I'm going to fight the war. But everyone on the grifting right wing sphere, they're going fucking nuts. So if the men on the right are starting to lose it, it's time the women came forward. I know the right wing have this whole thing that like trad wives and all of that, but I think it's time the women of the right stepped forward and led it.
President Trump has appointed Erika Kirk to the Air Force Academy's Board of Visitors. Is she qualified? Of course not even a little bit. Doesn't even matter.
The podcaster Candace Owens. What do you want to say to her? Stop. That's all I have to say. Stop.
And there we have it. Some right-wing girl-on-girl action. Not only the topic of this section, but Jeremy Corbyn's most searched category on Pornhub. So the queens, the princesses of the right, Erika Kirk, the widow with the mostest, and Candace Owens, the queen of conspiracy theories, are going for each other's throat. Poor choice of words, seeing as everything that happened. This is the Super Bowl for people who watched Kid Rock's halftime Super Bowl show. It's may I talk to the manager versus ma'am, please stop talking during the movie. I feel sorry for Candace and Erika here. Candace was Charlie Kirk's work wife, and his death has made her go off the deep end, which is completely understandable. If you watch that happen to your friend, you're going to believe some mad shit. Erika Kirk was Charlie's actual wife, and to be honest, she seems pretty unscathed by the whole thing. Thriving, if anything. I've seen people be sadder having lost a fiver than she was watching her husband be assassinated.
I am so excited.
And to go with the right-wing mandate that these people believe in, this is why, people, you can't have two women in the workplace. You just can't. It gets ugly. Sure, we all want women to succeed, but you can't have this. This isn't good. These evangelical, God-fearing women need to do what's best. Become trad wives. Erika Kirk would be the perfect example of the kind of lovely woman from the 1940s you just don't get anymore. She's got the house in order, she's raising the kids, meanwhile her husband's being shot at work. Good old traditional, mid-20th century values we don't have anymore because of the tofu-eating wokerai. Every now and then I write a bit on this show. And then I realised why I didn't get weekend updates on the English version of Saturday Night Live. You need light stories, fun stories. Like this. This is a fun little story. A fox managed to sneak aboard a ship heading to New York, survived the journey, thank God. And it's now being put up in Brooklyn Zoo. A nice, lovely, heartwarming story. We have to keep this story away from Rupert Lowe and Nigel Farage and the Reform lot, or they will be outside Brooklyn Zoo trying to burn it down in the name of keeping women and children safe. How come these foxes are coming here, not integrating into society, being put up in zoos on the taxpayer's dime while I'm at work? It is insane, isn't it, that we now live in a world where a fox that has, for all intents and purposes, illegally, under human law, immigrated to the US. I don't know how the fox realm feels about this. I imagine the fox realm will do what it always does as someone who lives in South London. There's foxes everywhere. And go, we need to have a gangbang outside Elliot's house at 2 a.m. Why is the American answer to anything that arrives in this country, put it in a cage? Anyone who arrives in that country, it's just, you got to go to the cage. Like, well, what if I want to, add to the economy? And no. You got to do your time in the cage. This is the world we live in now. A fox is being treated better by the US government than people who have walked thousands of miles who just want to work in the Chili's.